Kim. I thought I'd do the end of year book tag that I've seen on a few different channels now. Apologies again if there's a glare on my glasses. I spent the weekend out and about. I had a fun author event and a few other things going on, and now I just can't put my eyes need a break from the contacts. So we're just gonna have to deal with the glasses for today. But anyway, it's the end of the year, or very nearly. We're in that holiday slide that goes from like Halloween to New Year's, right? And it's time to kind of get in the last little bit of reading that we're gonna do, if we're gonna do it. So I thought it would be fun to talk about what that looks like. So questions, there's only 6 questions, shouldn't take too long. Any books that you started this year that you need to finish? I started a number of books this year that I kind of ended up putting aside. I think I did a blog post about it. If I did, I will link that in the description. But I did just start Homecoming by Kate Morton. That's her newest, and I do typically really like Kate Morton. And I didn't get very far though, because after reading The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle and then picking up Homecoming, it just felt too heavy. And I have it from the library, and the library wants it back. I think it's due in like 2 days, so there's no way I'm finishing it. So I would like to finish it, but that may not happen this year. I don't know. It wasn't hitting me right. It wasn't striking me right. I'm sure it's a great book, although I didn't really like The Clockmaker's Daughter. So maybe Kate Morton and I are done, but we'll see. I don't think I'll finish that this year. It seems unlikely. I also started a reread of Queen of the Damned and didn't get very far in that either. I don't know. Again, my headspace was maybe in the wrong place. But I don't think there's anything I started this year that I'm going to finish by the end of the year. I think anything I started and set aside, it's probably not going to happen. Question number 2, do you have an autumnal book to transition, into the end of the year with? I don't really. I mean, right now I'm reading the second Thursday Murder Club book, because this time of year is when I want to get cozy with my mysteries. So I picked that up at the library because I really, really loved the first one. I'm really enjoying this one, which is called The Man Who Died Twice, I think is the name of it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's an easy, breezy kind of read for me. And after reading The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which was a book that required a lot of just effort from me, this does not feel as much work. And even so, even though it's a mystery and I'm still kind of putting things together, I don't know, it feels more effortless. So usually for me, transitioning to this time of year, it's not really about any one book. It's really about genres, and the mystery genre is usually my go-to for the cozy time of year. Question number 3, is there a new release you're still waiting for? Not for this year. I think Jasper Fforde is finally supposed to come out with the sequel to Shades of Grey, and I think that's due out in May. I am going to hopefully reread Shades of Grey, because that book came out over a decade ago. I read that when I still lived in Massachusetts, and I've lived in California for over 11 years now. So I know that book is old, and I have been waiting for more from that world for a long time, because Shades of Grey is probably one of my favorite books. It's a really fun, interesting world that Fforde has designed there. So I am waiting for that, but that's not coming out until next year. And that's the only book I'm really waiting on right now. Question number 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? I have got such a big stack right now. I've got a stack of books that I own. I've got a stack of books from the library. So I don't know if there's any 3 that I particularly want to read, but I will say, let's see, to meet my Goodreads challenge, I've read 35, 36. So I need to read like 4 or 5 more books to meet my goal of 40 for the year. And I think I'll be able to do that. I'm almost done with The Man Who Died Twice. I've got a couple other library books. I've got a Hercule Poirot over there waiting for me, a reread, because again, this time of year. But I've got like a big stack of books of the reread of Shades of Grey. I'm looking over there. Also, Early Riser by Jasper Fforde, which is kind of a weird take on zombie stuff. I don't usually like zombies, but first of all, that's a good like fall winter kind of thing. And I trust Jasper Fforde to do a good job with the genre. I've got a Tana French over there, The Searcher, that I've had like for forever on my stack. So maybe those. We'll see. Question number 5. Is there a book you think could shock you and become a favorite book of the year? Probably not at this point. I mean, I guess anything's possible. The Thursday Murder Club books will probably make some of my best of the year. The Song of Achilles, which was the first book I read this year, probably going to be on my best of the year list, at the end of the year. But, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe? Question 6. Have you already started making plans for next year? Yes, because I've made a bingo board for next year. Actually, I'm still tweaking it. I know I posted in my book bingo video, I was like, here's the board for next year. And then I went and I made a few more changes. So until we really start reading in 2024, I'm going to hold off. I will post it again when it's finalized. Of course, you're welcome to use the existing board, take a screenshot, whatever. I will also put it on my website, maybe, if people want access to it. But yeah, so my plans are really just to do my bingo, like I do. And then probably another, goal of 40 books next year for my Goodreads, because that seems to be what I'm able to do these days. I used to be able to read like twice as many, but I'm just too busy. But yeah, that's it for the end of year book tag questions. Yeah, and so I hope you had a happy Halloween, and we will, I will finish Thursday Murder Club, and we'll talk about that. We've got one more episode of Loki Season 2, and once that's done, we can talk about that and Our Flag Means Death Season 2. I just kind of want to combine that into one video, since my watching stuff is different from my book stuff, but in any case, that's what's coming up on the channel, ostensibly. And until then, take care.